Alright, I got one of these for Christmas from my wife, and I didn't get the option with a receiver because I wanted to use my my 9503 here, and I looked on the internet and I couldn't find a a video or anything where where they explained how to make the tail work. This model actually is in the latest real flight, and I really like the way they have it set up. So I want to show you how I set mine up. So if you look at the tail, I'm just operating the tail here, and I have my rates set up on my aux2 switch. So the way I did it was, and I'll show you the radio setup in a second here. I used aux1, or excuse me, aux2 in the normal position is low rates. So you can see it's kind of low rate. And then if you go up to one more click, it's high rates. And the last click goes to vectoring. So you can see the tail actually vectors too. So I'm going to show how to do this in the next step. Okay, so for the next step of this video, I wanted to give some simple instruction to people with Spectrum or JR radios, DSM2 radios, etc. This is a DSM-X model. 9503 by JR. It's a bit dated at this point because I know JR has some really good new products out, but it's still my favorite transmitter. I have a few. So go into your basic menu for setting up a model, like when you first set up a new model. Sorry for the shaking here, I'm trying to hold this with my left hand. Okay, so once you get into the model setup, the first thing I want you to see here is very important. Along the bottom, I have inhibited all of the functions for gear, flap, aux2, aux3, and aux4. It is very important you do this because those switches by default are set up with native functions, whether they be for literally gear, flaps, gyro, whatever. You will get very strange results, and unexpected things can happen if you don't inhibit those when you're planning to use those switches for other functions. So make sure you do that. Sorry about this, it keeps turning off. So working from left to right, you can see my flight mode here is assigned to aux2 switch, which is this little guy up here, and I picked this one because it's a nice 3-position switch. It's big, it's right in the front. I do it for all my planes, it's the same switch. So flight mode 0 is at the top, low rates. Flight mode 1 is in the middle, higher rates, and then flight mode 2 is my insane rates. And that's, by the way, where the thrust vectoring is turned on, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. The next thing down you see is that my trims are common or combined. So I set it like that intentionally because, especially on airplanes, like most implementations, I think your trims are pretty much always going to be the same, whether you're in low or high rates, etc. This could be different for 3D or for helicopters, things like that, but in this case, it's a very simple airplane. The bottom one there is D/R, so that's the dual rates. I set them to flight mode, so obviously I can do dual rates here. So as I go up and down in my rates, or in my flight modes rather, the rates change. So let's go into the model. You'll see model 16 is my Hadron. So the first thing you want to do is you want to go into the menu. I'll show you a couple quick things here. Let me go to my mix. So go to program mix 1. You might have to activate it. Mine was not active, which is standard. They're all off by default. And all I did was a very simple mix. For safety, please make sure you do not have the model powered on during this setup, because the default is throttle to throttle mix that they give you in the template. When you activate this, and if you should bump your throttle for some reason, or for whatever reason, just make sure the model's powered off for safety, because you could have your plane come to life on the bench, and that's a very scary and unsafe thing. So you'll notice that I set mine to switch select here to flight mode 2. So by default, this will say on off. That actually will be toggled on, that the mix is active. But that's when you want the mix active all the time. I only want this mix active when I'm in flight mode 2. So again, not in flight mode 0 in low rates, not in my middle rates, only in my highest rates. So that's what that does. And that's how you get it to do vectoring in flight mode 2 only. Now there's one more thing I'd like to show you though, just make sure we've covered all this stuff. So you can see my flight modes, dual rates are set up for flight mode 0, 1, and 2. I always leave my rudder pretty much fully enabled. Like I'll go 80, 90, 100 to start out with a lot of models, and I only put 20 expo on the rudder. However, for like elevator and aileron, I put a much more aggressive XP for now on there, or excuse me, expo, and I'm going to start out with dual rates of 60, 80, and 100. So 60 will be my takeoff landing, 80 for like, doing some maneuvers, and then 100 for like spinning the Hadron, stuff like that. So I hope this video is helpful, and remember, safety first, be careful, watch your fingers around the propeller, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Take care.